the Raiders lose, people come into Chuck's Tavern, and 'cause I put it on Facebook that I'm working at Chuck's Tavern on certain nights. I usually work Sunday nights. They come in there and they just give me crap about the Raiders. It's insane, and they think I'm on. They think that I'm the. And I don't trash talk. I don't trash talk anybody else. But they always say, "How about your Raiders?" I hate when people say, "How about your Raiders?" I said, "I don't own them. You know, I don't hang out at Hooters or PF Chang's like certain owners in the National Football League. We won't mention names. John, take it away."
All righty. Hey, folks, this is Daily Fish. I'm John Daly from Myrtle Beach. Eric Snyder is from Las Vegas, along with John Hardison. The Hardline, the Cost of Winning podcast. He has all of our betting stuff for us. And, man, we had an interesting weekend. Hardline, you said it wasn't a great weekend. I thought it was a really good weekend in football because it was interesting. Was it the greatest football? No. I think you said it was sloppy. I think a lot of these teams are beginning to find themselves, and I think a lot of them are just trying their butts off, and it really wasn't great football all the time. But at the same time, too, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I still thought it was great. I thought it was fascinating to see the different results. So, Fish, I'll let you jump in there first.
I'm with both of you. I mean, we're going to get to my team in the background right here, and I have an interesting saying, but you just this is what you do when you have a losing team. A hard line is watching the Lions progress into a football team, but they're still losing, finding ways to lose. And the Raiders are absolute disaster right now. And John, when you've gone through losing seasons with the Giants, not so much the Patriots, do you ever say this? Why can't the Patriots do this? I always go, why can't the Raiders play like this? You know, why can't the Raiders go in and blow someone out 38-14 like Jacksonville did over the Chargers? That's what I do. I agree with both of you. It was bad football. The Denver Broncos and San Francisco 49ers set football back 7,000 years last night. And you're right. You're seeing teams start to mature, and we'll get to some of the stories. I'm very impressed with the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel. That's my new favorite coach. You know, everyone had that geometry teacher that was a nerd that was cool to hang out with afterwards, smoke a joint with, and have a beer. It's my guy.
Yeah. Hardline, go for it. Give us your nerd story of yesterday's games.
God, it was just so it's so sloppy. I mean, you know, Dan Orlowski's excited because he's not the only one in the F up club or running out the back of the end zone or touching it. I just saw so many people just making like horrible decisions. Even like Detroit found another new way to win, a new way to lose. It's such a Detroit-esque fashion way to lose. And the you know what? I know the guy that's winning this week in terms of it's got to be Shad Khan because he's probably sitting there. Thank God Urban Meyer got caught on film with that young girl. Otherwise, I would have been in purgatory or hell for the last 3 years watching this organization go to fire. But he got the right guy. He hired Peterson, and he got Peterson to believe in Trevor Lawrence. And congratulations to Trevor Lawrence for putting on that show. I mean, what a show that he put on the road in LA. But you know, just a lot of sloppiness this weekend, but some good things to take away as well.
I agree. I thought the great thing was when Garoppolo steps out of bounds for a safety, has absolutely no idea, and he got saved because he threw an interception that would have been a pick six. And then I thought the Dolphins punt went for a safety. He actually punted it off the blocker's butt, and then and again, I know we weren't going to talk much about this, but everybody seems to be arguing with each other on the bench. And I think more so than usual. But Fish, you say that, and I agree with you. This is part of the intensity of what's going on in football, and I think that's what makes it so interesting. I don't think we lost any viewers this weekend. Fish, go ahead.
No, you won't lose any viewers. The viewers are going up, and it was amazing. Everyone was so concerned about what Amazon's rating was going to be for the first 2 weeks, and they're averaging 15 million viewers, and they're looking for 12.5. So that's huge, you know, for streaming, which is the future of this league. I hope you all know, if you love your favorite football team, just an addendum to that Apple TV's taking over for DirecTV with the Sunday ticket and the package next season. So get ready for that new brand. And that the NFL was very nervous about that, Daily, about what the ratings would be. So no one's going to lose viewership. You're just going to, I mean, it's a lot of, you know, our drink of the week this week is going to tell you the mood of the Raider fans. You'll see you later. Stay tuned. Or stay listening.
So I can't believe the NFL would be nervous about that. I mean, streaming is the way of the future, man. It's no going back from here. And I know a lot of people that I've talked to that watch it on Amazon, the Thursday Night Football, they love the statistics. I guess there's a portion of it where you can see statistics, everything, kind of where everybody is, and they love it. They feel like it's live Madden. I mean, the NFL finally is being more progressive, and I think it's going to be something that helps move it forward. Nobody cares about DirecTV anymore like that. They're lucky.
Well, can we go to the Raiders being 0-3 and get it out of my system? Because I was telling you guys for the show that I get texts from people in the Raiders saying, "Be nice."
Don't you want to save that for later so that you can just grind?
No, I want to show you my face. I want to show you. First of all, there's a stat out daily. I want to listen to this stat because the swag this week is all about stats, and this is a great swag. You figured this one out. Something momentous happened in baseball this week. I'm teasing the swag, so this is great.
Cool.
Since 2000, gentlemen, there's 109 teams that have started out 0-3. Only 13 have finished daily with the winning record, right? One has made the playoffs, the 2018 Houston Texans. That's where we stand. I got a couple of memes. This is my face. Look at my face. I'm not a bad-looking guy. I don't look like these two handsome guys. This guy who's hanging out in Liberace's fucking living room, and this guy who's, could still model at 70. This is my face watching the Raiders. Hey, I'm sorry.
Homer.
All right, that's my Homer Simpson. Now, when the Raiders lose and I go to work at Chuck's Tavern, this is my getup. This is what I actually go to work looking for. I can't deal with it. I mean, I have one thing to say about the Raiders, and you guys can chime in if you want. There's an old saying that Al Davis said that the greatness of the Raiders lies in its future. I added to that, and it's serious. I go, but it's the memories of the past that keep me sane in the present. That's where I go. I mean, it's just a rough time right now. Never. All the new coaches that came out, and you can name the guys. I forget all the names. We got McDaniel down in Miami, and Peterson in Jacksonville. He talked about what a great job he's doing with Trevor Lawrence, John Hardison. But of all the teams, all those guys have winning. Even Nathaniel Hackett doesn't even know how to coach. They had to hire a coach in Denver to teach him about the clock. Guy sitting in the booth. They have a winning record. Well, who doesn't have a winning record? But next, bring on Denver. So I guess we play Denver next week at Allegiant. So, you guys have any thoughts on the Raiders, or is it a wrap?
My question is, Fish, would you rather rewatch that game, or would you rather be the guy blocking for the punter in Miami and just get a foot up your ass real quick?
Watching the Raiders for 60 minutes this season is like getting a foot up your ass for an entire time. Look, I'd rather be on a massage table. Deshaun Watson, turn it off at this moment, and just getting it. I can't figure it out. 43 years watching this team. It's always something different. Went through Gruden and the Henry Ruggs thing last year. Now we got a team. What's about the Raiders, John Daly, that really intrigues me? I saw a thing on Twitter by one of their writers that cover them. I'm going to say it. Big Taper for the Athletic. I know the guy. He said, it looks like the Raiders aren't having fun out there. It's the first time I've seen Derek Carr not having fun. Yeah. And it looks like they're not interested, and that really concerns Raider fans.
Yeah, and I thought for sure Josh Daniels was going to bring that, and they do look a little befuddled. I mean, at the same time too, they came back. If Carr hadn't had that tip pass for the 2 points, I mean, they could have tied the game. I mean, it's not like out of their 3 losses, it's a deficit of 13 points combined, right?
Yeah, but you know what? If you got your looks from your beloved aunt, if she had balls, she'd be your uncle. I mean, Carr's 1 out of 10 in his last 2-point conversion. But yeah, 2-point conversion now, John. I found out last night listening to the part of the Denver 49er game. The 2-point conversion is 50%. I mean, everything we're doing. It's 7 times in the red zone. You get 3 field goals, and I mean, look. I don't want to bore anybody. I don't want people flipping right now. We're not giving up. We're the Raider Nation. We never quit. We always show up to the games. We're not going to quit on our team. And it's a sad state of events here in Las Vegas. But, hardline, I'm going to get tickets for going. The UNLV Rebels, and I don't want to go this way. The UNLV Rebels are getting more buzz right now. Yeah. The football team. And that John Daly lived here for 20 years. That never happened when he lived here. They've always stunk. They're getting more buzz than the Raiders right now, and that's good for the city.
No, it is. You know what? I'm happy for UNLV. Something had to change. It looks like they got the right head coach, and they're getting the right recruits in, and then kind of going from there. But, in regards to the Raiders, I'm not going to put everything on McDaniels. I'll be the first person. I know I'll take stones for this. I'm not even going to put everything on McDaniels. It's the first season. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some ups and downs. What I do know for certain is after week 17, I'm probably going to be standing with McDaniels right outside the locker room writing pink slips out for people, telling them that they're gone. First one I got is for Jonathan Abram. Second one I got is probably for Josh Jacobs, and so on and so forth, that everybody that John Gruden drafted, because they're all going to be gone. I can't see that Josh
Jacobs is having a terrific. Josh Jacobs is doing a great job. He's hitting the holes. He's playing hard. Jonathan Abram, 5 targets yesterday, and there was 5 completions. Can I move on to something else, guys? I want to ask. Billy, I'll go with you. You're an AFC East guy. Why does Tua get so little respect? He's 10-1 in his last 11 starts, and he's doing what he has to. I mean, I know the Bills outgained them by 285 yards yesterday, but he was a serviceable quarterback. When you have a defense that averages 30 turnovers, creating 30 turnovers, you're going to win. This, to me, is not a surprise story, but I think it's a fun story to watch because they're a nerdy coach and a guy that just gets zero respect. And I'll add to that, Daly. Talk about this guy, too. You got 2 quarterbacks. Hardison, you'll love this one. 2 quarterbacks that get no respect, went to the University of Alabama, Jalen Hurts from Philadelphia. They're tearing it up.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Tua's thing is that Tua is not a big guy and he's not a big thrower. I mean, he's just somebody that has to coincide with an offense, and he's doing it. He's finally got an offense that's working with him. Jalen Hurts, I mean, to me, one of the incredible things about him is that trade they made for A.J. Brown. I mean, that was one of the greatest trades of the offseason. And you see how bad the Titans are. I mean, granted, the Titans won yesterday, but they looked bad in the first 2 games. They desperately needed him. I think that Eagles team is a really good team. I think the Dolphins team is a good team. I'm not totally crazy about their offense, but I love their defense. I think their defense is good. And to go up to Buffalo and to shut them down up there, that's huge. So what was your original question about that? Why Tua isn't respected?
Why get so little respect? And kudos to the guy, that handsome guy in front of the Liberace piano. He said on one of our previous shows, Jalen Hurts is a Pro Bowl. Will be a Pro Bowler this year. And right now, 3 games into it, no doubt. Yeah, I asked you, why do you think he gets such little respect? Maybe it's because you think there's Josh Allen's in that division and everyone loves the guy.
Yeah, and I think it's also the fact that he's not a big guy and he's not a big thrower. I mean, he's a good thrower. He's not going to be throwing the ball 60 yards, but he doesn't throw that much. He actually works with it.
You know what? That second game, he threw 3 bombs. He had 2 to Tyreek Hill and 1 to Waller. He had 6 touchdowns in the second game. I love it. I love the story. That whole organization with Stephen Ross and the tanking, the way they horribly treated Brian Flores, and then that's a storied franchise in this league. It's one of the iconic Miami Dolphins, Zonka and Kick, and the 72 team that went, what was it, 4th? They won undefeated. It's a great story in the NFL. You need more. There's a lot of class acts. Tua is a class act. Does so much in the community. You know what? I'm going to say this too. This is for you, Hardline. Kudos. You said this in the rehearsal. Kudos to the Hawaiian quarterbacks in the NFL. You called out Mariota's having a very good season. They're 1-2, but that caught your eye. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, I think looking at Atlanta, I didn't think Atlanta was as bad as a lot of people make it seem. Look, Arthur Smith is a good head coach. I think that they have to get some more pieces. It's a rebuild right now. I think they did the right thing from moving off from Matt Ryan. They got a younger Marcus Mariota, someone who's worked with before when he was in Tennessee. And they've got another guy behind him, Desmond Ridder, that's ready to take up the spot. In regards to Tua, I think, Daly said it best. He's a smaller guy. I think a lot of people were waiting to see what was going to happen with the Deshaun Watson situation, or were they going to go out and get another quarterback. But the one thing I could say in regards to the Eagles, one thing in regards to Miami, their defense, they put a lot of money heavily into defense and bringing in defensive players to compensate some of the issues that the offense was having. And I think that's what we're seeing this year is the majority of the teams that are really good, it's more of a defensive team than some other issues. The biggest team that I'm concerned about in the AFC East is the Bills because of all the defensive injuries they had. From Micah Hyde being out for the rest of the season to losing some of their corners, that's going to make a huge difference in how well that they go. So, I think that Miami might be right now in the AFC East, if I'm thinking of all the team, might be the best team in the AFC East or most complete team in the AFC right now because they have more of their players that they started off the roster with versus the Bills right now.
Yeah, they're 3-0. All right, good. Hey, we got some international games coming up. 3 straight weeks in London for the NFL. Then they go later in the season to Mexico City and then to Germany. Vikes against the Saints. You guys going to get up early and watch? Because for you, that's like 6 in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be with. I'm working, so I'm just gonna put the sound on. Harlan will be there having some avocado toast and some bacon ram shrimp at Shug's Tavern. But no, I get a good crowd for that. It's really cool to see people rolling at 6 in the morning. Put the sound on. It's oh yeah. So I'll be working all the international games and I'll be watching all of them. There's a good couple. Right, the Green Bay plays the Giants. What I'm looking forward to, guys, the most. John, I hope you have it down. Tampa Bay is playing in Germany. I want to see the crowd in Germany because the London crowds sell out like crazy. And you saw the great crowd between Northwestern and Nebraska and Ireland for college football. That I'm always intrigued about it because the NFL is the only one of the 4 major sports that's not international. It's huge here, but other than other country, it's they don't know. Tom Brady has gone to Brazil with his wife. Not the fat Tom Brady that I show every show. The good-looking Tom Brady. He doesn't get recognized, and she's Brazilian. So I mean, it's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sorry. Go, John.
Go Hardline.
I hate the international games. I hate them so much, unless it's the ones in Mexico City, because the travel schedule is so terrible. And I hope next week is at least the bye weeks for those 2 teams, because as soon as they get done with that game last night, they pretty much had to go start practice, hop on the plane, and try to get over to England or Germany or wherever they are, and then they got to go through this whole process, change time zones, and get back. I hate it. I think that it's poor quality. Usually, the quality of the games are subpar. Which means that probably Kirk Cousins is going to have a hell of a game, and we'll see from there. But I am not happy with these games at all.
Interesting. It's fascinating to see the difference. The Saints are already there. The Vikings won't go till Friday. So it's kind of interesting to see how both teams are handling that. Hey, let's talk a little college football. It wasn't the greatest of weeks last week, but to me, the game I'm looking at is NC State at Clemson. Could this be the game of the week? And the question is, will they even get to play it? Go ahead, you guys.
Yeah, well, first of all, how you doing? Is it Ian, Hurricane Ian?
Yep.
It's coming into you guys. I mean, every time I talk to Daily on the phone in the morning, we have our coffee. It's always about hurricanes coming in his part of the world. And yeah, well, it's not, but it's devastating. You see how those things have hit New Orleans in the past, and the devastation it's done in the Gulf. You're there. You're in Carolina. So let's hope. What are you hearing? You're asking us. What's your forecast?
Well, as far as I think it's a little too early. It's going to hit probably Wednesday. It's probably going to hit Tampa. Tampa looks like it's in the direct line of it. I would say Saturday is when it's going to start really hitting the Carolina. So there's a good chance that game could be washed out. Is it going to be a hurricane? Is it going to be a class, a 2 or 3? I don't think so. It'll probably be a good tropical storm, but I'd be really surprised if they played it. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw that game scheduled towards the end of the season, which for NC State and Clemson, if they both were undefeated, through the rest of the season, and then they had to schedule it to the end, it might not be such a bad idea. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. What do you think? What do you think, Hardline?
Well, real quick, Hardline. You want to gauge the storm? Look at the NFL. New England plays Tampa Bay this Sunday, so you'll see the NFL start making moves.
I'm surprised that they're going to have this, especially because of everything going on. But I would think that maybe they would flex it out. Maybe because it's on a Saturday, you could get an NFL stadium to host it for that day. Look, Clemson travels, NC State travels. I would think that maybe you could get something, even if you had to change it. And I don't know if Dallas is at home next week as well, but maybe move it to something like Dallas where you could get to Jerryland to put it up. I know the NFL does that all the time. Back when they had storms down in New York, or was it? No, I'm sorry, in Minnesota when the roof caved in for the water, they flexed it right over to Detroit, sold out the game, and it was perfectly fine with the NFL. I think that the NCAA can do something similar as well, just to push it a couple states over and make it a little bit safer for the rest of the students.
Well, we'll see. We're going to figure that out. We should know in a couple of days. I think the Tampa Bay game with the Patriots is going to be fine because they're going to get hit on probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And as long as they don't get massive damage, they're probably going to try to have that game. If there is massive damage, if it's the worst, if it's a Category 4, then you might see that game postponed as well.
Yeah.
So
We'll find out. That's it's the good thing is that the only good thing I saw in college football. I want to go back to the weekend daily.
Yep.
Was the upset of Middle Tennessee State going down to Miami and just torching them. That was it. Other than that, it was a brutal. This is my face watching college football this weekend. It was boring. Blowouts everywhere. That's me. I did. Actually, I placed a couple of bets, and this handsome guy here says, "Don't lay the 5.5 USC over Oregon State." So what does this schmuck do? I lay the 5.5, and they went 17-14. Man, I can't catch a break.
It was
if it was a betting man, you might have got beat on some of these games. But other than that, I thought it was just a lackluster college football Saturday.
Yeah, we got to get into the better games.
I thought what you call it. I thought Wisconsin, Ohio State was probably the worst game I saw. I expected so much more out of Wisconsin. They didn't run the ball effectively. They couldn't really throw it effectively. Ohio State just imposed their will. At this point, I think it's Ohio State's Big Ten championship to run away with. Unless, CJ Stroud gets injured, I don't see any team in the Big Ten right now, and soon to be probably Big 18 because they just keep recruiting more and more schools into the conference to beat them at all. And the one other team I was really impressed with so far, and we're not talking about them, is Washington. Washington is having a hell of a season right now with the transfer from Indiana, Michael Penix Jr.
Michael Penix. Oh, great.
Penix,
I love it. Love it. They are. They're ranked 18th, but we'll see.
Cool. All right. Do we want to jump into some memes now, Fish?
Yeah. Why don't we do some memes? Actually, I found a couple of memes. I'm gonna hit baseball and football, but I want to talk about something that really happened. I want you to read this. This is for our listening audience, and I want people. This is an actual ticket, okay, from a UPS driver that left on someone's door. Read that, John.
Hold on. Please trim. Hang on. Please trim your bush so I can better service you. Box.
John, forget it. You can't. Please trim your bush so I can better service your box. Now, take that the way it is. That's a real USPS. Please trim your bush so I can better service your box. You could take that. So everyone asked me, and I got a video too about this. They said, what was John Daly and Eric Snyder, and especially Hardline, what were they like when they were kids? And I got a picture of us when we were all younger, and I got a video that he did his TV show. There's Hardline when he was a kid. Check him out. He's going to be on here. All right. Now, that's Hardline with the glasses. That's me in the middle, and then the left is John's alter ego named Dwayne. We did a show called What's Happening. Check out the video. Check out the video of our opening. It's only 50 seconds. 1979. One of the greatest things on. We made money. We financed the show.
That was us. You're muted, Fish.
Her thing with Mabel Thomas and Mom, you got to go back, folks, and go on YouTube and watch some of these shows like What's Happening, 1979. Brilliant, about 3 kids growing up in the streets. And that's, you see a Hardline, he gained a little weight, looks he's still handsome. But does anyone see you in the street? And sometimes it shucks, did they ever call you Raj?
No, they always ask.
I stumped the number 68%er. All right. This is a horrible thing that Raider fans have done. I got this from the Raiders. They have this grandma stuck in this until they win a game. I don't understand this at all. That's grandma stuck in a cage. I mean, honey, you might be there for a while. I don't see any toiletries or anything like that. Yeah. That could be a bad thing.
She's wearing a Kansas City Chiefs shirt, though.
She is. Now, John, we know the Dodgers are going to go to the playoffs. They have a chance. They've already done their best record ever. They have 106 wins, I believe, 8 games ago. We'll talk about that in swag. But check out this. This is great. For our listening audience, I can only show this to you. I'm not going to keep a straight face. See, that wasn't so bad. Now let's go get those Dodger playoff tickets. It's an older hooker. You want to see some of the girls I dated back in the 70s? This is what they morphed into. And it's a kid who can't look at her. She's a heavier set woman. Look at that G-string, though. Look familiar, Hardline? Actually, that's Hardline's mask that he wore during COVID. Now we know where it went. And the kid in the bed is looking weird with the Dodger hat on. I mean, this is crazy. So that's my memes of the day. We might as well go in the last man standing for YouTube. Take this off.
God, the things you do for information, huh?
Cool. All right. So we're going to do last man standing here. Or are we going to do it when the hard line does his picks?
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Let's talk about this now because I've done this for 26 years. Okay. Listen, guys, there's 9 people out of 50 that don't have a loss. See that handsome guy, Daly, and me? We don't have a loss. There's 21 people out going into week 4. This guy took a heavy play this week on the Chargers and the Chiefs. And if the Vikings would have lost, there would have been 6 people. I've never seen this in the history of doing my last man standing. I'll ask you guys this. Daly, could you imagine all the sports books in town that you only get 1 loss and ties are a loss? Wow. The circle's down to 3 people out of 8,000 going into week 4. So
you got to be kidding.
It's on. Yeah, we took. Oh, by the way, we took the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
Daily Fish. Thanks to you guys. I said Hardline had the candidate. It's a great pick, Hardline. You get mad at yourself. It's a great pick. That was the number 1 pick on Yahoo Sports Pro Football Focus about the best probability of a win was the Kansas City Chiefs. All right.
I had a feeling, man. I kept sitting there. I was like, they're gonna fuck this up. I literally kept sitting there. I texted you a pick that morning, and I said, this is gonna be the one that's gonna kick me in the nuts. Something tells me that something's gonna happen, that this is gonna be the team that kicks me in the nuts. I told you I was between them and the Texans. The Texans lost too, but I was like, I think the Texans maybe pull the upset. This guy lays on freaking Matt Ryan and gets the unsportsmanlike conduct call. Gotta be shitting me.
That was bullshit. That was such shit. What could you say to him? John, did you hear about that, Daly?
Yep.
I heard what's his face. What the hell is this? Mike Ditka, who's not doing so well. So you know what? If you would have heard what I said about people's mothers' vaginas, and I didn't say the word vagina, it was a C word. It's like see you next Tuesday. And he goes, we never got that. The officials laughed. They were laughing. He goes, Ben's right to go. That's a good one, Dick. They go, what could you say to a guy? Are we that woke culture right now that even the officials are listening? Oh, you might have said something that was.
Well, between that one and Jamal Williams getting the unsportsmanlike penalty for gyrating his hips in the end zone. Oh, that's us. Really?
Wow.
Hey, Daly, we have time for this real quick? I want to ask you this. I'm not for the. I think taunting's a horrible rule. I think guys should trash talk. Jalen Ramsey's trash talk. The only time I want your opinion on this. The only time that taunting is not good is when a guy's injured and the guy stands over him. You get that penalty there. Other than that, let these guys talk. We did it in the streets. We had one of our shows we did earlier, Harlan, before you were a regular on the show. We talked about that in my daily fish in my rant I used to have called Something's Fishy. I said, let these guys talk. Let them have fun. They did it in the 70s. There's great sound bites. Yeah. What's going on in our culture right now? A guy can't lean into Matt Ryan and say, basically, I effed your wife last night. I mean, come on,
Well, hey. I think what they're worried about is it's going to lead towards, because today people aren't, they don't have good comebacks. They're just going to come back with a kick in the balls or a punch in the face. So I can understand why they're doing it, but I agree with you. I think it was great when we were younger. We used to watch Bill Weaver come out and talk to the umpires that way. So.
Oh, yeah, we actually had we had a guy, Joe West, on. Remember that Hardline? And I had a video of Earl Weaver just going at it with Bill Halloran, talking about his mother's vagina. And I couldn't believe it's 1975. And I didn't get a chance to put it in there because Joe West kicked me off the show. It's crazy. Hey, guys, you want to see the greatest taunting ever? Go watch a movie in 1977 called Slapshot, one of the classic movies, and watch Paul Newman go behind the goalie. And he goes, watch. The number 1 goalie in the league, Hardline, and no one could score a goal on him. And Newman goes, watch this. And he goes behind the goal and he goes, hey, Hanrahan, your wife's a dyke. He goes, like this. He goes, yeah, my wife ate out her pussy the other night. And he turns like this and they score a goal. And they win the game. I mean, even in the movies in the 70s. And I'm sorry I used that vernacular, but that's what he said. So we'll move on.
All right. So what do you want to go? You want to go to the
You want to do Schmuck of the Week?
Yeah, let's do Schmuck of the Week. We'll come back and we'll put all the hardline stuff inside the in the hardline there. So let's do our
I
Schmuck of the
love
Week.
it that we're now Wingding TV. We're now winging it. We're on Wingding TV and we're winging the show.
There you go. There you go.
Look at Hard. Daily doing it, man. Okay, now you talked about we had this. I have a video. You know, I used to be in therapy for anger management. I'm coming clean in front of all the millions of hopefully people that are watching and listening. But I still go every once in a while to get talk. It's always good to talk things out. You know, I can't do it at the bar with Hardison. Check out this guy's reaction to the Bills losing. Remember that Daly kind of teased it.
Now, here's what people don't know is the real story.
Yeah. Is it off? Yeah, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, it's still rolling. But here's the real thing. He found out he was going to go to Shucks on the night of your birthday, and you weren't there working on your birthday. That's what he was upset about. He didn't care about the fact that the Bills lost yesterday. He was pissed because he wanted to be with Fish on his birthday. Hardline, wouldn't you say? Weren't you angry when Fish wasn't there on his birthday?
Oh, I was traumatized. I couldn't believe that he wasn't there. And you know what? I walked in with him. I said, "Hey, I got the best bartender in the world." And he said, "Where?" I say, "He makes a hell of a Manhattan." And he just blew up everything.
Wrong. I was there on my birthday. My birthday was Wednesday night to Thursday. So Thursday at midnight, it was the 15th. That's his reaction because Hardline's in there and he's got his cavalcade of women around him. And he walked in and said, you know, where are the white women at? And they were all around Hardline. He said, hey, fuck this. I'm getting out of here. You know what? But I went on my computer, looked at all the hot places to hang out with Fish. Hardline's got 9 girls around him. And he's saying, you know what? I don't know if Clemson and North Carolina State in 2 weeks are going to make it right now because of the weather coming out. But like, do we have one of your fried shrimp? You know, it's great. No, thank you. Thank you.
All right, so that's our Schmuck of the Week. All right, who's got the swag this week, Fish?
I want to get the icon on here because look, we're getting down to the end of the baseball season, and I guess next week because next week when we do our show, the playoffs start the next day, so we'll give you all our predictions. Yep. Daly, you take it away what this guy just did. You say it. Say who that is and say what he just did this week, which is phenomenal.
Albert Pujols hit number 700. He did it twice. He hit 699 and 700 in the same game against the Dodgers, which was cool because the Dodgers actually had him last year, and then he decided to have his final year with the Cardinals. Class act. It was 11-0 game, so the Dodger fans were actually on their feet and they were applauding him. So it was a great moment for him. And to be honest with you, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I don't think the three of us thought he really had a chance to get to 700. But I got to tell you, in late July and August, man, he just came on so strong. So, you're right. That's a great swag.
It is. I mean, Hardline, do you even remember? I mean, they talk about a guy who was classy. And I heard him in one of his press conferences. He said, you know what? I had to pee into a cup every week because people just couldn't believe that because in the culture that I was brought up in, and every week he goes, my pee was clear. Wait, say my pee was clear, and just great in the community. And it's just when he was at the Dodgers, I'm a Dodger fan. It was great to have. It's a great. So how many guys we got? We got Aaron, we've got Bonds, Ruth, and him. There's 4 guys. That's a huge club to be in.
Absolutely.
Let me say it right now. Understatement. First ballot Hall of Famer. What do you think, Hardline?
Oh no, there's no doubt that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's amazing to see the dichotomy right now between Albert Pujols hitting 700, and we're just waiting on the edge of our seat to see Aaron Judd break Roger Maris's record. It's the old and the young coming together at one time, and I think that's the poetic thing about baseball is that you can see someone in their 40s still go out strong, and you see somebody new coming on that's so young. The memory that I have most about Albert Pujols is him beating the Tigers back in the 2006 World Series, and I mean, they were just dominant. There was nothing that Detroit could do against the Cardinals, and he just put on a hell of a show.
Yep. I got a question for Daly. Aaron Judge bet on himself. Hardline would have tell you to bet that Aaron Judge would bet on himself. I didn't know this. I hear that he's really enamored because he's from that area of going to the San Francisco Giants, which makes me sweat. Daly, do you think there's any chance the Mets are going to get in this parade to get him?
Oh, I think you're going to see the Mets, the Giants, and the Dodgers go after him strong. There's even some talk the Red Sox may go after him. I don't think that's going to happen, but
if that happened, you would curse. You would say, "Holy shite!"
I think the Yankees are going to go all out because they're going to honor him like he's Roger Maris, like he was Mickey Mantle. And whether that's going to keep him there or not, I don't know. I'm not certain. I'm not convinced he wants to stay there being a Yankee. And, you were talking before about, the Raiders don't seem like they're having fun. I don't think the Yankees look like a team that's having fun. And I think it's a lot of their culture. And I don't know that he likes that.
Wait, that's a great statement because they're winning. The Raiders are losing and the expectations are high. Expound on that. I want to hear why do you think that? Why do you think that?
I think like they can't grow their beards. They can't have long hair. They've got to be regimented with so many different things. You see so many players that, I'm drawing a blank now. There were 2 players that the Yankees traded. Went to the Cardinals, the left-hander, grew his hair long, grew a beard, and he's like 7-0. Montgomery. And then there was somebody, Gallo. Look at Gallo. I mean, Gallo was considered one of the worst players in baseball. He's with the Dodgers now. He's like a Triple Crown threat. And so I think a lot of that is, and I'm going to steal this from my wife, Terry, being a Red Sox fan and watching the Yankees. She calls the Yankees the Stepford wives. She just says they don't look happy. They don't look happy. And I understand that. And I think there's some people that do want to escape from that culture. There's other people who want to be part of that tradition. I don't know where Judge is.
The Stepford Wives was a great movie that came out in the late 70s starring Catherine Ross. It was about robots that were made by these men, and they were just there to service their men, and they were great in bed. And you know what? I'm not going to say anything.
No, don't go there.
I'm not going there, but if they're the Stepford Wives, and if the Yankees are the Stepford Wives, then the wives of the Yankees are very happy.
Do I think that he'll go to San Francisco? I mean, it's a strong chance. I mean, look, if he's homesick and he misses his family as much as that he does, there's a chance. But I don't think that if you're the Yankees, you let that walk out. I think depending on when your last game of the season is, hopefully it's all the way. But depending on what it is, you have a contract that you pretty much have already negotiated with his agent. You say, okay, look, yesterday's price is not today's price. I do know that the Steinbrenners have to be kicking themselves in the back of the head for not getting this done earlier. They should have signed him earlier. They should have got all this paperwork done at the beginning of the season, long term. But this is what you get. So now he's going to be able to dictate the terms of what he wants and how he wants it. Look, they're a regiment. I will give you that. The Yankees are a regiment. But again, they win. And that's the biggest thing for them is, look, if it's been working and it's been producing the money that it's been producing in New York, and it's a top 5 market, you got to kind of be regiment to a certain degree on that. I do think that Aaron Boone's gone. I think maybe they go after a coach. Maybe that's a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's gone. That slump that they had, you can't forget that. The only thing that would save Aaron Boone at this point is if they made the World Series or won it. And even if they made it and didn't win it, I don't know if that's even saves him. But
wow. That's bold. What's your odds on that? If you got
to think about this. Fish for what? 2 months straight, they lost damn near every game. Like they lost like damn near 2 months, a month straight every game. If you're the Kansas City Royals or if you're the Oakland Athletics, that's fine. I could barely get 2,000 people to the stadium. But if you are the New York Yankees, that's unacceptable.
And they got to face the Houston Astros even before they would get to the Dodgers if the Dodgers get to the World Series. So
that's their kryptonite.
Yeah. All right, let's do our drink of the week. Next week. Yeah. We got to do our drink of the week because we are going to toast who's got the swag. Fish, who are we toasting? No, I know. What's the drink of the week? Sorry.
The drink of the week is called the Debbie Downer. Okay. I want you guys to go into your favorite convenience store, whether it's out here, we have Herbs, we have Arcos, wherever you go, 7-Eleven, and go to the counter and say to the guy that's toothless behind the counter, give me the cheapest whiskey you got. Right, he's gonna go right for it. Trust me. I'll give you that $7 bottle of Daily Bourbon. Pour it in this and pour some Coke in there. It's called a Debbie Downer because that stuff, the bourbon and Coke, the Debbie Downer will drown out the Debbie Downers you have over your football team what's going on with your football team, and hopefully I say this, John. I'm gonna have to do a drink for this. Hang on. Football is unforgiving, and that's why we're doing a drink. I talk football. I think football. You know, I'm a football, John. I talk to this guy, all you guys, every day. April, May, June, July, February, right? And in 3 weeks, your season could basically be over. It's no other sport like that. I say this to you all the time, everybody. If the Red Sox lose 3 in a row to start the season, or your Golden Knights or the Pistons lose 3 in a row, your season's not over. All right. Football is unforgiving, and I'm a Debbie Downer right now. Not fun to be around. You saw the face. I'm not putting it up there again. Right. So what do we get? Where can you drown your sorrows there? Big
Well,
guy?
here we go. The Daily Fish Drink of the Week is sponsored by Shucks Tavern in Vegas. Great seafood and drinks in 2 locations. Head to Shucks Tavern. It's on North Durango on the northwest side of town. That's one of the places. That's where Fish is overnight. All you got to do is go in there and say Daily Fish Podcast. You get a free drink. Do it the next day, a free appetizer. Again, that's Shucks Tavern. Check out Shucks Tavern on Facebook. And of course, folks, just to let you know, if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the chat box if you're watching us or listening to us live. Or if you are not, you can email us at dailyfish1@gmail.com. Again, we're coming to you from Vegas and Myrtle Beach. We hit all the issues you're talking about: sports, entertainment, politics, everything in between. We're controversial but informed. No woke, no extreme, no Karens, no social justice. We let the threes fly. We aim for the third deck. It's a bumpy ride, but we are going to be here for you and have some fun with it as well. Now we're going to get into the hard line. Let's bring the hard line on for his different picks. And hard line, let's go to the NFL picks coming up this week. Bears versus the Giants. Now, Giants play tonight. So, actually, you know what? Let me ask you this. Do you have anything on the game tonight? Let me ask you that first. Giants and the Cowboys.
Giants and Cowboys, you know what? It's a toss-up. I don't trust Cooper Rush, but I don't necessarily trust Daniel Jones either. But I take the Giants. You know what? I like their defense. I like the Cowboys defense as well. But I think the Giants got a little bit more in them. I'll take the Giants tonight. I think that we'll get a little bit more out of the Giants than what we thought we would, and I think that they'll end up closing. Plus, honestly, the Cowboys play really bad outside. I don't know what it is about playing in outdoor stadiums, but when they play the Eagles outside, when they play the Giants outside, they struggle. So I'll take the Giants tonight.
Interesting. Okay.
Who would ever think, Daly, that the Jags versus the Eagles would be a game that we're talking about, and now the Jags are relevant? Hardline?
Yeah, I mean, this is a definitely an interesting game. You got a team that's, I think, one's 2-1, one's 3-0. I'm going with the Eagles. I'm going with the money line on this at -270. The Eagles have won the last 3 games against the Jags. I love what Jalen Hurts is doing right now. AJ Brown, what he's doing, and that I love Darius Slay to be a ball hawk for Philly next week. I'm taking the Eagles.
I'm going to ask you one quick question. Where is that game being played? Is it in Philly?
That game, I believe it is in Philly next week. Let me double check for you.
All right. So they'll be away from the Hurricane most likely.
It's in Philly.
Yep,
it
it's
is.
in Philly.
Okay.
In Philly next
All
week.
right. Be careful on this one, Hardline. Broncos and Raiders.
You know what? They got to get it right. I'm going to take the Raiders. I mean, the 49ers game was just so bad. The last 3 games for the Broncos have just been terrible. They squeaked out last week. The week before, they barely won. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And there are 2 teams that are kind of similar. They both have offenses that are trying to get it clicking. They both have brand new systems that they're trying to get going. But I think the Raiders at home get the win. I don't think they're going to go 0-4. They have to at least win this game. This isn't a must. They have to win this game. So whether it's Daniel Carlson on a walk-off kick or Derek Carr having to dive for the end zone like John Elway looking like Willie Beeman, they got to find a way to win this game.
Any given Sunday. What a reference. I love it. Hey, you talked about Michael. Is it Penix or Penix? I can't. Is it Penix we talked about? The kid from Washington?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. Well, they play UCLA. UCLA's 4-0. And Washington's same thing, 4-0. Big game. What do you like?
I like Washington. I like what Washington's been able to do. I think that, Penix right now is leading the NCAA in passing yards. And you don't get that a lot from a guy from Washington. I think that it's going to be a shootout. I think that I got the over going for this game at -155. I just think that I like Washington a little bit more than I like UCLA in this team, in this fight.
All right, Texas Tech won big against Fish's alma mater last weekend. They get to go to Texas A&M. Talk about Debbie Downer, huh? Oh my God! So they go to Texas A&M. 7.5-point favorite is Texas Tech, right?
Yeah. So Texas Tech is playing Kansas State. I like
Kansas
Texas Tech.
State?
Yeah, they play
Yeah.
K-State this weekend.
They play K-State this week. Yeah.
They
They
play
played K-State. Okay, they played Texas A&M last week. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So win against Texas A&M, a win against Texas. Texas Tech is a lot better this year. I don't know if it's Patrick Mahomes coming back to give some of his juju to the school, but I like what they're doing right now. I think they're a really dynamic team. I think that they'll cover against Kansas State. They're plus money at 7.5 for some reason, but I like Texas Tech in this game to cover at 7.5 and minus 110.
You brought up Texas for a second. I'm an alumni. Steve Sarkisian, the head coach, never referenced the Kardashians in a press conference. Okay, you're about to lose your job, and don't say you're friends with them. They can't. They probably coach better than you can. Okay. Every time I think about Purdue, I think about Lenny Dawson, who passed away, and Drew Brees. That's a legacy of that school. They play Minnesota. Sometimes these teams, other than Ohio State, Wisconsin, Michigan, in that conference, they're intriguing. Who do you like?
I like the over in this game. The over is 54. I like the over in this game. If I had to choose a team out of the two of them, I probably would pick Minnesota. I really like PJ Fleck. I think he's a dynamic head coach. I think he brings a lot to the table. He's not afraid to listen to his players. He's not afraid to get creative with the scheme at all. If I had to choose a team, I'd choose Minnesota, but I'm going with the over in this game at minus 105.
Okay. We mentioned our last man standing. Do you have yours yet? I don't think Fish and I do, but just to throw that out there. Do you?
Not yet. Looking at the schedule, if I got to pick a team, just looking, I probably would pick. I picked the Packers this week. I think the Packers probably beat the Patriots at home, especially because Mac Jones is injured. We don't know the severity of the injury. To err on the side of caution, I'll take the Packers.
Okay.
Remember, we don't have a loss, Daly. So again, it's a tough week for Buffalo, Baltimore. How do you do that? Washington, Dallas, even Seattle, Detroit. You don't know. It's crazy that all these fit. I would trend. Believe it or not, I would trend towards the New York Giants beating the Bears. I've never seen this, and we'll go back to football. Justin Fields in the first 3 games has never gotten over 8 out of 10 for 110 yards, and they're 2-1. 2-1. It's huge.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm on that game. I'll take the Bears. I'll take the Bears plus 3. The Bears have won the last 3 against the Giants. They get a little bit extra more time to rest because you got to understand the Giants play tonight, so it cuts their week a little bit short. I'll take the Bears. I think the Bears get it done next week. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but I think they get the win.
Okay, I'll bet you that game. You and I will do a gentleman's bet. If I win, you have to play that piano in your background, and you got to do it. You got to show me some good Billie Holiday. You got to do some good stuff. All right. I don't care what you do, Billy Joe. I don't care if you just do that. And if you win, you could be a celebrity bartender at Shucks. Okay. Nice. That way I can pack the place, watch you run around. The thing about him, he loves the food there. He'd be eating with one hand and pouring drinks with the other, which means you're a 20 times better bartender than I would ever be. So yeah, Jay, I'll go at. Well, Jay, tell everyone how to get a hold of us and stuff like that.
So the best thing, folks, we're going to need some help. Obviously, even though we're undefeated because of you. You guys are helping us. So all you got to do is write your suggestions for the last man standing of who you think the Daily Fish should pick, and you go to the email dailyfish1@gmail.com. Send us your picks. The most of them, we will actually go and we will pick it. We will do it as well. And also, just to let you know, he is John Hardison. He has the Cost of Winning podcast. It's focusing on fantasy sports and also sports betting. He's on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, as we are as well. And we are now, because we've got a lot of controversy, we're going to do a lot of things. We only got about 12 minutes left on the show. Man, we've been jibber-jabbering quite a bit about football there. So, Fish, talk about what, because you had something you wanted to hit Hardline and me with that we have no idea what you're going to talk about.
Well, this could be serious. It's a philosophical question. I had a customer come in, about a 25-year-old kid in a tie. I just meet the guy. His name is Jeff. Good-looking kid, a beard, handsome, kind of looks like Kevin Costner. Put that in your mind.
Field of Dreams or Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, well, exactly. But he was a very, very eloquent kid, and he says to me, we start talking half an hour. He goes, Fish, I have the question. He goes, and I want to ask you guys your opinion first. I'm gonna make it, and then I'll go last. He goes, "Do you believe in the afterlife?" You know, and I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Do you think that there's a heaven or a hell?" I said, "I don't want to talk religion. I don't want to do religion. No. It's not religion or politics. I'm not about, your path to Jesus. Do you think there's something that you go to?" So I want to hear your responses, and I'll end it.
Okay. Hardline, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll let you go first, Daly.
Okay, so I do believe in an afterlife. I don't know what it is. I read a great book that I thought confirmed things for me. It was called Dying to Be Me. It's by a woman by the name of Anita Moorjani. She died. She had cancer. She died, and she had a tough life with her mom and dad, even though she was very successful. And she went back, and her dad, who had died, said to her, "You have a choice. You can either go back or you can stay here, and and you can go back and really take over your life." And she did. And she's still alive. She's still writing about it, and it's fabulous. It's a really good book, especially great if you've lost some friends. We've lost some friends over the last couple of weeks or so. So it's something that's near and dear to me. I also think that religion, as much as we fight religion a lot, and my studying of history, Western civilization wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Christianity. Now, I'm not saying Christianity is perfect all the time, but because there is an afterlife, it's allowed us to create laws that say to people, you got to be a good person here if you want to get to that afterlife. And it actually has created, progress. It's created a lot of humanity for us here. So I do believe in it. Do I know what it is? Do I think it's just a state of mind? It could be. Who knows? But I do believe it, and I hope other people do believe in it as well. Hardline, go ahead.
Do I believe in the afterlife? Yes. Do I know what it is necessarily? No. I mean, there's so many different interpretations of what it could be. I mean, there's still so much in this world that we just don't know. I mean, we even talk about things as a horrible phrase, like galaxies far away, transmissions far away. Is there anything that's going to talk back to us? There's so much of this life that we probably only know maybe this amount in this vast space of Earth and everything that's there. I got to believe that there's something. Me personally, I got to believe that there's something. I got to believe that there's a reason why we're all here, and there's something that you have to do. I mean, look, if the things that we didn't have consequences or feelings, you wouldn't have remorse or you wouldn't have sadness for some of the things that you've done. So it's got to be a reason why, right? Like there's got to be a reason why towards the end of your life, you want to atone for certain things that you've done. So I got to believe that there's something out there past this. Something's got to be better.
Fish?
Yeah, I let this guy pontificate what he said to me. And he said, there's got to be a place where your energy goes, where your soul goes. It just can't be a nothingness. And I agree with both of you. John has talked about that book, and I started reading it. Also, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross has a book. You go through that, when you die, you go through this light tunnel, and then you're met by a loved one that guides you on the path where you're going to go. But this kid, Jeff, had an interesting comment to me, and he said, Fish, could you imagine if there was proof there was no afterlife and there's no heaven and hell? Imagine how savage we are. This is where this kid went. He set me up. The carnage that would happen. John's a Debbie Downer in the world. Imagine Hitler didn't have to atone for anything. Well, it's not, I mean, yeah, it's not. Imagine that people be killing each other left and right. I go, you really think that? He goes, yeah. Because if it just ends, it's blankness, nothing. Like the end of The Sopranos when the screen went black and what happened? And I want your takes on that. We have time to talk about that. If there was no afterlife and we figured that's it, your energy, your soul goes nowhere. It's just over. Then a guy like Putin, he's right. I mean, do you agree with? Yeah. Think about humans. Humans are savage, and there's a lot of crime. God forbid. What do you think about that comment this kid made?
I think he's right, and I think there was a lot of ancient cultures that also believed that, and they followed it, and they also felt that they saw a lot of different things in the physical life, like the sun, like the mountains, the turning of the leaves, that gave them the idea that there was a God there, and that there was someone looking over us and watching us, and that there was something there. So I agree with him, because without it, yeah, we would be savages. We'd just be trying to get whatever we wanted to get. And in some respects, a little bit of our politics today is kind of like that. But yeah, I agree with exactly what he's saying. Hardline, go for it.
No, I think you said everything that's right. I mean, look, I think that with everything goes on, I think it would be, more controversy out here. I mean, look, there's a reason why you do certain things. There's a reason why you have that feeling in the gut of your stomach that tells you probably this is a bad idea or you shouldn't do it. If there wasn't anything, if it was just a loss of consciousness, then what are you trying to be a better person for? Like, what are you doing that everything that you're doing for a sacrifice or anything like that? There's no point, because at the end of it all, it's just nothingness. I think there has to be something.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what would go on. I'm in the bar business. I see shit all the time, and you there, and we all live our lives, and I just couldn't imagine. You think if you're in a shitty situation, okay, just shitty situation, and you need to put food on the table, I'm gonna go rob this house and kill the family and take everything they have, because nothing's gonna happen to me. Like, I'm not going to hell. I'm not gonna have eternity in hell, because I always say to myself, I hope I did. I know you guys have. I always tell my wife, when I leave this planet, have I done enough to get into heaven? Can I see the people that I love that left us? That's what I want to believe. So I hope that's it. I hope if I had to go to hell, it wouldn't be with having to watch the Raiders lose. Imagine that eternity watching them. Imagine hell being this. Okay. Imagine that okay. All right. I'll give you this. I'll give you this time. Imagine that every single woman that you be with in hell would look like this when you watch the Raiders game. That's it. That's it right there. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I want to get your perspective. I thought it was really cool for a 25-year-old kid to have that conversation. I want to, chime in and let us know how you feel about that, because we all three believe in the afterlife, because the consequences of not having one is dire, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Write to us at dailyfish1@gmail.com. Let us know. It's really, I know we only got a few minutes left, but it's interesting. A 25-year-old kid is saying that, because I think,
great conversation.
I think what's interesting is there are things happening in the world today, with Russia threatening possibility of nuclear weapons, with climate change. I mean, we really didn't have that back, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We weren't thinking that. I mean, we kind of were told maybe it could happen. But, for a lot of these kids who are in their 20s now, they're looking at things and going, hey, wait a minute, is this thing going to be,
Can I jump on that? My wife's a school teacher for second graders, hardline, and she has kids every day saying, my daddy said that the guy in Russia is going to drop nuclear weapons. Is that going to have that? That's the stress on an 8-year-old kid.
Absolutely.
It's horrible. I mean, and that's a whole other subject. So, yeah, I mean, again, imagine a guy that diabolical, and Hitler, they just die and nothing happened to him. Hitler killed 6 million people and put millions and millions of other, and it's wow,
Yeah. So, all right, let me close this off. Thanks for being with us, folks. Remember, Daily Fish is live from Vegas, Myrtle Beach on Mondays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We are on Facebook at daily.fish.5, plus the Myrtle Beach Golf Channel and Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Live. Catch us on YouTube and Wingding TV. We're also on Hey Vegas TV at heyvegastv.com. You can also listen to us, and you can see us. You can see our picture right there. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, and Amazon. You can write to us at dailyfish1@gmail.com. Don't forget the Hardline, the Cost of Winning podcast, which is on Spotify and Amazon as well. And all right, good show, man. We kind of went many different directions there.
One thing before we leave, let's do this every week. We can, okay? I'll go first. I got the Giants tonight winning 21-17. Daily?
Okay, I have the Cowboys winning 17-14.
I'll take the Giants win tonight. I'll go 24-21.
Good.
Ooh, okay.
Good stuff. Yeah, this show really whizzed by, and this is show number 70, guys, and good things are happening for the future for us. And I can't. Albert Pujols in the last minute is everything that embodies sports that's good. Everything. The way he handles it. John, you follow baseball more religiously than we do, but as a person, he's just a great ambassador to the game, and the way he does things outside the game with his philanthropy, family man, funny, good in the community, great leadership. If every athlete took tutorship or mentorship and how to play ball in any sport, then sportsmanship would go up 1,000% in all sports.
Absolutely. The guy who caught his 700th home run, Pujols said, he goes, "That's for the fans. I don't need it."
Really?
How many players say that? That's so that just
falls with
reiterates
a lot of
exactly
money.
what you said.
That's
I did not know that. That's great education. See, that makes me have a man crush on him more. That's fantastic. So
that makes me feel
I
good.
love
And
you
then I
guys,
probably
man. Let's have a better October for our football teams hardline than we did December. Wow.
Yeah, all of us really, if you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although my Giants could be 3-0 tonight. So, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, not according to you.
No,
Debbie Downer.
that's why I picked him.
Dave Panatti, a big fan of the show. Dave Panatti, there you go. There's a Debbie Downer right there. Your own guy took this other team. But hey, you're
It's
smart.
New York
Hardline
thing.
would tell you
New
in
York.
10 seconds. In 10 seconds, Hardline would tell you, you never bet with your heart, you bet with your head.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Take care, guys.